Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Today I want to talk about time wasters. If you're doing any of these 10 things I'm about to talk about while you're trying to build wealth, you're wasting your time. Now the first one is, and I've done this many times, trying to do it all. I'll give you an example. Years ago when I got into the real estate business, I would try to find the properties, inspect the properties, make the offer, buy it, try to finance it, fix it up, list it, and rent it. I was lousy at that because I was trying to do too many jobs. There's realtors to list the property. There's bankers to finance it. There's contractors to help you fix it up. Don't try to do it all because you end up spending so much time trying to do everything that you're not really accomplishing anything well. Another one is ignoring advice. Now, sometimes it's healthy to ignore advice, especially from people who don't wish you well. But if a realtor is giving you advice on how to list a property or how to rent a property and you ignore it, you probably deserve what you're going to get. You will waste time trying to do that. Now, here's one that a lot of people do. Investing without researching. If you take just random advice from people who know very little about the stock market on investing in stocks, that's a problem. And there's really no reason to do that today with the onset of computers and Google and everything else. There's no reason why you should do that. Early in my life, that was very, very common for the average guy to invest in stocks that he knew nothing about. Now here's one that I have done, and that is saving your money at the end of the month. And you're thinking, well, what's wrong with that? If you've got money at the end of the month, save it up. I agree. However, that's not the first thing you do. You pay yourself first. Now, I know everybody says that, and you're supposed to do that. But you say there's too much month left at the end of my pay. Well, there's many ways to get there. The way that I find is to automate your savings so that as soon as your check hits your bank account, the bank takes the money and puts it into your savings account. If you don't see it, you can't miss it. And another thing that I learned is if I tell myself, okay, every Friday when I get paid, I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to deposit X amount of dollars. There will always be Fridays you can't do it. There will always be bills that you can't afford to save that week. Just make it automatic and deal with the consequences. Now here's another one. I called it overanalyzing, but I think the common phrase is the paralysis of analysis. And again, let's go back to real estate. When I buy real estate, I go through with my realtor, and I mean we look the property over. We look in all the nooks and crannies and marks and issues, and we make a list of the things that need to be done. I mean, we do analyze. But then when we walk out the door and we stand in the parking lot, I ask him, is there any reason that you see why I should not make an offer on this property? And he either says yes or no. If he says yes, we go. If he says no, we don't. My point is you should analyze. And I just mentioned a minute ago of investing without research. Research it, analyze it, look at it carefully. Have somebody there to be with you to a second set of eyes is always good. But once you've analyzed it, Make the investment. Now here's one that I have done most of my life, and I learned this from a boss that I did not like, and it's called putting things off. If you went in and said anything to this boss, he immediately picked up the phone and made the call in front of you. So there was nothing on his plate when you walked out the office. Don't put things off. Get it done quickly. That way you don't have to think about it. Now to me, this is a hard one for me because I like to think about things. I like to stew on it. I like to make the plans and then execute the plan. Now there's nothing wrong with that if it's a large thing. But if it's a thing, and I'll give you an example. Went over to a property yesterday to work on it, and there was no electricity. You can't work in a property with no electricity, so I came home and immediately started on the phones. Now it was a Saturday, so I couldn't get anything done, but I'm going to have to call back Monday morning and get the electricity on, because it's important. We got a lot to do in the next 4 days before pictures are taken. So don't put things off. Now here's one, and I recently had a guy on my team, and I said recently because he's no longer on the team, but he didn't know how to prioritize things. If you put the most important thing first, and if you can't accomplish the most important thing, go to the second after you work on the first. Some things take days to do, some things take minutes to do. And I'll give you an example. I had given him a list of things that I wanted taken out of a house. He went over, took one thing out, and left everything else. When I found out, I called him and asked him. And you know what his response to me was? When I said, "Why did you take one thing and not the other 9 things?" And he said, "Because I ran out of room." And I was like, you can't possibly be that stupid. Everybody knows you take the thing, you go unload it, you come back, you pick up another thing, and you go and you unload it, and you come back and you get another thing. He had no idea what was important, and I can't do that. Now here's one that a majority of people do. No priorities. No goals. Everybody says they have a goal. Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you written it down? Do you look at it every day? Do you try to do one thing every day to reach that goal? Now, an example would be our game that we normally play on this channel. I put the goal up, I look at it every day, I think about, and I try to do one thing every day to reach that goal. If you do that every day for a year, you will do 365 things to reach your goal. Now, that one thing does not have to be a physical doing. You could research, as an example, if you're going to buy a piece of real estate this year, sign up for Zillow. Contact your realtor. Save the money. Contact a banker. Do something every day to get you towards your goal. If it's not written down, it's only a wish. And if it's not concentrated on, it's only a thought. Now here's one that people that are successful don't do this. But most people that are average or semi, no commitment or low commitment. Everybody likes to say, I'm going to save money this month. And I'm going to save the same amount of money every month for the next year. Until it comes to Christmas, birthdays, holidays, vacations, wants, clothes. Well, those things are more important, are they? If you're committed to your goal that is in writing, Committed means everything else goes away until this commitment is met. That's commitment. People that are successful have that. They don't let trivial things get in their way. They set the goal, they try to find a path to get there, and they do everything they can. Everything. One of the issues that I have about this is I enjoy eating breakfast every morning, but I don't have time to do it here at the house. So I like to go out and get breakfast at a restaurant. And it's only $5 a day, $25 a week, okay? But that's $1,500 a year. If I'm going to save money, that $1,500 is going to go a long way. What's more important? I have to be committed to reach my goal. Now the last one, number 10, is one that most people don't think about, but it's critically important. Negative people. If you are spending your time around negative people, you are wasting your time. If you're around negative people, the rest of these things you're probably doing also. You probably have low commitment because negative people don't want to be committed to anything that's going to achieve things. Negative people usually don't have goals. So if you want to be successful and you want to be committed and have goals and achieve things, you need to get rid of negative people in your life. Now, by negative, I mean people who are not supportive of you or your goals or your state of mind. Don't be around negative people. They will bring you down. Now, these 10 things that I just went over are things that if you're doing them, you are wasting your time if you're trying to achieve financial goals. And I'm going to go over them again real quick. You're trying to do it all. You're ignoring any advice and all advice that you're getting. You're investing without doing your research. You're saving money at the end of the month instead of the beginning of the month. You're suffering from the paralysis of analysis. You put things off. You don't know how to prioritize. You're not writing your goals down. And you're not committed to them. And you're hanging around negative people. If you need to be around positive people, get on the internet and go find some. But stay away from negative people. They harm you more than anything. Well, those are the 10 things that if you're trying to achieve financial goals, these 10 things are wasting time for you. Find a way to change these things and your financial goals will be much easier to achieve, I promise you. Well, that's about all I want to talk about. You have a great day, a great week, and happy, successful investing.